regulations, like you said, for global extension. So you want to make sure that you contact that agency directly to see what your specific situation is.
Awesome. So I want to put this out while you brought this up, because in the United States, I think the deadline to renew your business state registration is April 1st. And if that is not done, I know in Florida there's a $400 penalty plus the fee to renew. Is that correct? Or does that vary by state?
Well, for Florida, yeah, that's definitely the case. If you don't renew it automatically, then you have to pay your registration fee. Then you have to turn around and pay that $400 penalty. And then if you decide that you don't want to renew, it automatically will default after 2 years, and you don't have to do anything. But to avoid paying an additional unnecessary $400, you want to get it done. I haven't heard of any kind of extension that they're granting because of COVID. As of right now, I would go ahead and take care of the things that you're capable of taking care of to keep your business going. Because if you're not registered, that also hinders you with funding. Again, they want to be able to look you up on the system and see that you're fully registered with the state correctly.
Okay, so with that being said, with this new stimulus package that's just been approved by Congress, this $2 trillion package, and I was trying to read over some of it last night, the Washington Post, Forbes, the Associated Press, a lot of them was rolling out, detailed specific specifications of this package. And I know there's a section for small businesses. So
Right.
if that small business does not have an active registered status with the state, will that be a hindrance to prevent them to apply for this disaster relief?
I'm pretty sure that it would, because they want you to have a registered employer identification number or tax identification number. They have waived a lot of the requirements in that bill. It specifically states a lot of the requirements that you would normally need to be able to get funding, to be able to, like if you're having to shut your business down because of COVID, which a lot of people have, if you're reducing your employees, putting them to part-time, to little no time, then there are funding that has been granted through that bill through your bank and your lending industry, where they don't have to go through the normal requirements that we would normally have to have. But you are definitely going to have a valid tax identification number or employee identification number.
That's good. So you mentioned something about having the tax identification number. So this is where small business owners really need to be organized with their administrative paperwork to make sure they can put their hands on these documents and to be able to produce what is necessary. Give me one best practice that small businesses need to be doing now with all this downtime to prepare to ask for this disaster relief, whether it's from the federal government or from the state, because I know Governor DeSantis has put together a small business relief package as well.
What happens is the federal government is the regulator, right? So they are the ones that say, this is the money. It's up to each individual state to decide how they're going to allocate their funds for the money. So if you're in Florida, it may be different. Like you said, the governor has already put a packet together. That packet would go out, and then the banks and unemployment and Department of Labor, everybody would come together, look at what the amount is for each agency. Also, Social Security is a part of that. And then they would decide what each person is eligible to receive. So one of the best things I would say to do, if you want to, get some real easy knowledge, is to go to Social Security website. If you don't already get an annual report, then you should get your annual report and see how much money that you would receive. That tells you in the case of death. That tells you in the case of dismemberment. That tells you, in the case of unemployment, how much money you would receive each month if something were to happen to you or a family member. The other thing I would do is I would go to unemployment website for your state, because they also put additional funding in that bill that would allow you, if you are underemployed, if you are you are underemployed or currently unemployed to receive a more than the normal benefit that you would normally receive. And so they have also waived a lot of the guidelines with that as well. Whereas you would have to provide so much documentation, they've waived a lot of that because this is a worldwide issue, and they're not looking at it like just a hurricane situation for one or two states. They're looking at it like a catastrophe. So I would contact unemployment. If you are getting less money than you would normally receive, you can actually put in a claim.
Awesome. So now, with that being said, I wanted to get that out the way, everyone, because a lot of times we get so busy working in the business, we forget about taking care of working on the business. That's making sure we have our ducks in a row. So what is the next, out of your top 3, what is the next common business mistake that we make? And what is an innovative strategy solution that you have?
I would say one of the second would be, because for one, you definitely have to be set up and established, right?
Yes.
But you don't want to be reactive. Sometimes you have to be because you're not educated in certain areas. This is also a good time to sit down and see who are your contacts. So if you have a problem with Department of Labor, with insurance, with legal situations, with the regulators, with the Internal Revenue Service, with any of the agencies that govern what you do in your business, you need to have a list that says, who do I contact? And not only who do I contact them now. That way, when something does come up, you already know what you need to do. So you already have Joe Blow is the person I contact as my CPA. And then you already have, if something happens, someone gets injured, this is who I contact. You don't want to have it happen and then not know who to contact, because that just delays the process of getting things done.
That's good. I like that tip. So we need to have a expert checklist of who to call in event of a business emergency. I like that. All right. So what's your third top tip? Eliminating common business mistakes that you have seen and experienced, and what is an innovative strategy for your third one?
So I would say, I already said planning a backup plan. That's not just with having your list. This is more so dealing with financial. Because a lot of times when we as business owners get in a situation where we have the nest egg, you have the funds, but something comes up like this that's so unexpected that you don't really know how you're going to make it out of that situation.
Right.
And this is a very rare situation, so we don't anticipate that there's going to be continuous catastrophes going on. What we can look forward to is that there may be situations where someone in our family falls ill, we fall ill, and we need a backup person to come in. Do we have the funds set aside to be able to pay that extra person, or to be able to take off to take care of ourselves? Because we know that as business owners, we will continuously work, even when we're tired, even when we're ill. And sometimes we have to have that plan that says, who can I bring in to do this job for me when I'm away? What if I need to buy new equipment? How would I handle the new equipment purchase if I don't have anything sitting there for me? This is another time where you can look at COVID-19, and you can go, if you have a 401k or if you have an IRA, they put some stipulations in that plan as well, where you don't have the same requirements to take from your 401k. So if you wanted to take something from your 401k right now, it could be considered as a loan, and you're not penalized if you're not of age. And you could actually put that money to the side and use it as a backup plan if you fall into hard times, something not the same as what's happening right now.
That's good. So with the 401k, that wouldn't be the hardship loan, but it'll be some a different type of loan because of the global crisis we're in right now.
They have your normal withdrawal is going to be a hardship withdrawal.
Okay.
Which would be have a tax consequence to it. However, if you're of 59 and a half or above, you don't get that tax penalty because you're of age, and so you don't get an additional 10% that you pay in taxes. However, if you take a loan, it's not a tax consequence because you're paying it back. So what they did in the new guidance and the new stimulus package is they said, we're going to give additional options outside of the normal hardship and outside of the normal loan terms, and we're going to address it as COVID-19 hardship and loans. And then you don't get penalized, and you have a longer term to pay it back. You also don't get the penalty for taking it out as a hardship. So you would call your 401k. A lot of business owners are working during the day, and then a lot of them are not working during the day, but had a business before or worked for another company before they started their business, and may have taken money out at that time to start their business, so they may just still have the money. So when they do reach retirement, this is the time to be able to access that money, to be able to use it to help yourself out of a hole if you should see yourself fall into one.
That's good. So preventative measures. So while you were talking, I was thinking about a lot of business owners, some business owners bootstrap their business with credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
What's the suggestion or innovation strategy do you recommend for business owners to do when dealing with handling business credit cards or personal credit cards?
I spoke on this, I know, before, but what I would say, again, this is still going back to COVID. I'm going to keep talking about COVID because I did read the actual stimulus plan. I obviously did not read all of it. It is too extensive to have ran over last night, but I read it through the main points. And it talked about being able to call your credit card companies, but you can do this at any time. But right now, because of the special guidance and the amount of money that was allocated, it's actually allowing you to be able to make contact with your credit card company.
Okay.
And notify them that you are a victim of COVID-19, and they are giving extensions of time for you to make payments on loans and on credit cards, which is a normal thing that when there's some kind of natural disaster or something like that, they do offer. So I would call my personal credit cards, I would call my business credit cards, and I would specifically say I'm a victim of this. They may require that you specifically say, are you a person that was laid off? Are you underemployed? Did the business you work for close? They want to know the specifics, and they have they can actually go ahead and give you that additional time. So while you're trying to build your business platform and get more revenue, you're not having to make those minimum payments or over the minimum payment while you're trying to make sure you can make your business run.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm seeing some questions in the chat, so I'm finna start reading out some of the questions. The first question I got from Romania is, what steps to follow to not hit your credit score too much during these times? That's the first question. And then her second question was, if you lose employment, would you file unemployment or file for if you lose employment, would you file for unemployment, assuming your job got affected per budget cutoff? So it's a two-part question. Let's do it the first one. What steps should you follow not to hit your credit score too much during these times? In other words, what can we do with the credit bureaus? We got Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. What can we do directly communicating with them while our credit score don't take a hit?
Well, they're all going to have some, just like how our jobs, obviously some jobs are still making people work, but they're all going to have indicators because of what kind of situation this is. They're going to have indicators that make them aware that people's, credit will be affected by not only using your card to the max, but also by sometimes there will be people out trying to solicit you that are not truthful or trying to get your information. So you have to be leery of that as well. And they will present themselves as an individual from Equifax or Experian. So what you do is you use your card If you have to use your card in order to make purchases, you use your card to make purchases. However, you never want to go to above 33% of, your credit line, because that's gonna make your score go down. But considering the current situation, I don't believe that that's going to hit anybody as hard as it would under normal circumstances. Once the credit unions get a notification that this is a situation that's going on, and they've been allotted because the stimulus has actually been put into place, it's been approved, that's when every single industry, from cars, from loans, from everything you could possibly think of, kind of go back to 2008 when the industry crashed. That's the same thing we're experiencing now. The only difference is they're more prepared for it. So they're putting all the things into place like they did then to say this person was affected by, the recession of 2008. But instead, they'll be saying this person is affected by COVID 2019. So you won't have to have as much heavy weight on your back about using your credit line, but you just still want to be leery and make sure you don't go too far to the right, with it.
Okay. All right. Next question from Romina. She asked about the unemployment benefits. I know you mentioned it earlier in your conversation about filing, and they were already saying that the record has historic records because everybody around the country is applying. I saw a news special last night in Georgia that they can't even get through to file unemployment. So would be the best course of action to have it on record? Or how would we as business owners take the approach with unemployment compensation?
There's two things I would say about that. A lot of businesses in this stimulus now have access to pay employees. So they will get funding to be able to pay people that they had to lay off.
Okay.
They also have the right to file for loans and grants because of the fact that they've been affected. And that's to keep them going operational wise. And so they can go to their local bank or credit union, and they've been allotted special guidelines to receive funding for loans and grants. Unemployment is going to be overwhelmed, obviously, because they don't have as many employees to service the whole U.S. You still want to go online. You still want to go, I think you can go in person. I'm pretty sure you can, but most of it is online now. So you go online, fill out your application. There's a special indicator where if you are affected by COVID-19, that you are kind of expedited.
Okay.
The thing is that since this bill was just passed, you got to understand it may take a lot more time than it normally would for things to get processed, because the regulators and the administrators are having to learn the processes also. Okay. So they have to educate their staff as well on how to proceed with these claims that are coming in.
Awesome. A few more questions. Romina asks, is this a good time to refinance your house?
I think that's up to each individual.
Okay.
Because, it's a good time to get low interest rates. It's a good time to get deferrals. But as far as saying whether it's good to refinance, that's up to the individual. I wouldn't be able to say, and it's also up to the bank because each bank is different. And so they have lesser requirements, but they may not have less requirements when it comes to refinancing your home.
Got it. Romina says, thank you so much for answering her question. She says she's been hearing a lot of this conversation. She hosts a podcast, very influential, RM Podcast Florida. And she has some valid questions because a lot of people are concerned on strategies on what to do. So I want to thank you so much, Thomasena. Before we switch to our brief 10-minute talk with Ashmar, what is your final thoughts and words that you want to tell our current audience or our audience that will be watching this again on demand? What things that you want to tell them to prepare for in these next coming months while we're dealing with this global crisis?
What I want to tell them is this is the time to sit down with your family, get your items together as a business owner. If you're not a business owner and you just haven't had the opportunity to sit down and look at where you stand, the thing that I said at the very beginning about knowing where you stand, get your social security report, contact unemployment, call your credit cards, whether you be a business owner, whether you be personal, and ask them, can you receive a benefit for being affected by this situation? It's not beneath you, because your unemployment benefits are something that you pay into. Social Security is something that you pay into. Everything that's being granted to you at this time is something you have paid into. So don't feel like you can't use what you've put in. That's what I would say to take away from this.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I appreciate your time. And at this point, Ashmar, let's do our little 10-minute talk. He got some surprises for everybody. Don't go nowhere, because he got something innovative for all business owners to stay connected with your customers during this time. So, Ashmar Gary, you are on deck, sir.
Yes, I do. Hey.
All right, everyone. This is the new social media ambassador for the Jacksonville chapter. So, Ashmar, I'm going to hand it over to you. Ashmar, you there?
There we go. Let me know, guys.
I hear you, but I don't see you. Hello? Ashmar. Ashmar, you there?
There we go. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, you up. I can hear you, but I can't see you. I see your beautiful graphic.
There we go. I'm getting ready to come on now.
Okay, because we won't want to keep people from lunch, because everybody got a schedule, even though they working at home. So I wanted to put some technology in. So let's have it. What is Bold City Bots, Ashmar?
So Bold City Bots is a marketing automation agency. We help conversate with those customers that you're looking to have or already have using automation. So a good example of what we build, which is chatbots, is if you've ever been to a website, in that lower right-hand corner, you see, let me see if is it possible for me to share?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So if you ever go to a website, in that lower right-hand corner, you see a pop-up like this.
Okay.
All right, let it load. So this is what is known as a chatbot. It is an automated messaging system that performs kind of like a live chat agent, right? So when somebody's coming to your website, or if somebody's just finding out about you on LinkedIn or your YouTube channel, they're going to have questions. They're going to go to your website. They're going to want to find out more about what you do and how you can help them. And a chatbot is a great way to pre-qualify people or actually start a conversation without you being there in person, right? Because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we got 20 million things going on, and we can't answer every question right away. We can't answer every phone call or text message or email that we get throughout the day about our business, right?
That's cool. So
within a bot, you can actually ask those questions from whoever's interested in your business, like you see right here. I want to ask people, do they know about chatbots, or what do they know about chatbots, or do they want to learn more, right? So this is the first sequence that you would get coming to my website.
Oh, wow.
So let's check out some of the frequently asked questions, which is one of the #1 places that people go when they come to your website.
Hmm. So is this difficult to add this chatbot feature to your website?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So actually, Facebook has an option for adding this directly from Facebook.
Hmm. So if Startup Grind Jacksonville has a Facebook page, and
Mm-hmm.
I noticed we worked on this the other day about adding the chatbot feature to the Startup Grind Facebook page. Could we collaborate with Startup Grind headquarters to get this chatbot incorporated on our chapter website?
Absolutely. I'm getting ready to show you guys a live demo of the chatbot that we just built.
Okay.
And I'll also post this link in the chat. All right, guys. So that link within the chat is going to take you into my chatbot. The first thing that you're going to see is get started. So if you want to take this for a spin, go ahead and click that link.
Okay.
And I'm just going to walk you guys through right here. All right, so just imagine, some.
Hello? Ashmar, we lost your sound.
Page, and
Okay.
then just hit send us a message, right? Send a message. This is the first thing that they'll see. They'll be invited right away without having to get Ms. Therese or myself or someone else from the team to stop what they're doing and answer the question.
Okay.
So this here is giving them two options. If you're interested, you can subscribe. And if not, you can adios. So I'm gonna click subscribe and boom, this is a Giphy. So we got a welcome aboard GIF that's keeping everything light, keeping the conversation, communication light. So, it's not all business. So it says, thanks for signing up with the Jacksonville, Florida chapter of Startup Grind, Asmar. As a whole, we're a dynamic community of over 2 million entrepreneurs with a global reach of 125 plus countries and 600 plus cities. To complete your registration, add your email address. So the same steps that someone would take on the Startup Grind website and adding their email address, we collect it directly in Facebook or within Messenger. And guess what happens when we collect that information? We automatically push it to a registration list in Google Sheets. All right, so I'm gonna show you how that works. So you see my email address just pre-populated in there. I'm gonna add my email.
Look like your screen freezing up, Ashmar, a little bit. Okay, there we go. There you go. It just came through.
All right, now look at this. You see how my phone number automatically pre-populates?
Okay.
The crazy thing about this is Facebook has access to almost all of our info, right?
Right.
Right. So our email address and phone number is readily available if we ask for it in Messenger, which makes it a lot less friction for the person that's registering. All right, so I'm gonna click add number. Now check this out. Now I signed up for SMS. And we'll go back over to my sheet. Now you see how all that information just populated right here.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
So this is the basis of marketing automation, collecting that user data without friction. Now, I added this video here just to really give background for Startup Grind. This is one that I pulled from the web.
That's a great video.
For me, it was really a good entry point to enter the startup world. So my background is in finance and investing. I went to the Europe conference in London and then attended my first global conference last year and this year again. I met so many interesting people. If you have any hesitation.
So guys, there's no limit to what type of media you can share within a chatbot or in Messenger. You can use Giphies, you can use images, you can use videos to really keep your audience or your tribe engaged. Now, right after that, we ask for them to keep the engagement going. We want to find out the event schedule, or if they want to become a sponsor, they can click any one of these links. And that link actually takes them to this event that we're in right now.
Wow. This is amazing. This is amazing. So as you all can see, why Ashmar is the Jacksonville chapter social media ambassador, but I won't be selfish. I will share Ashmar with the rest of the chapter directors and the other individuals who need to stay engaged with their customers, because this is very important in the season that we're in right now with COVID-19. No, we can't do the social engagement, but we can stay connected virtually.
Absolutely. And one thing that I like to say is conversation is the gateway to commerce. That's my tagline for what we do, because we start conversations. The first thing that we, want to do is translate what we do to the people that are interested.
Awesome. So Ashmar, how do they get in contact with you? How can they learn more, follow you on the different innovations that you're doing with chatbot technology?
So the cool thing about this whole chatbot thing is you guys click that link that I sent in the chat, you're automatically added to a list, right? If you ever want to contact me about anything, you can message me in that page, or you can add me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter.
Awesome. That is great. Well, this is our lunch and learn, our first virtual lunch and learn streamline event with Startup Grind. I want to thank all the participants for joining. Make sure you sign up for the chapter for free. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter. I think I got us on everything so we can stay connected. Next month is April, which is AWS, Amazon Mentorship Month. So we're working on some strategic guests and speakers to come in so we can maximize how to leverage doing business with AWS. So you want to make sure you sign up for the chapter for free. And we send out newsletters to remind you to register. From this point on, all our events will be streamed virtually. We also will share with our other chapter directors around the globe that are joining us from Guatemala, Cameroon. I want to thank y'all for taking time out joining us today. It means so much to me. So I send so much love to everybody. But from myself, the chapter director, and of course from Ashmar Gary and the rest of the Jacksonville family, we want to say thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your lunch and your day. And if you missed it, this will be available on demand. So follow our page. Hold on, I think we got a message. Let's see what we got. Thank you, Christian.
That's Christian there.
Yeah, so we want to make sure this will be available on demand. If you want to stay in touch with Ashmar, please get his link. He is very helpful.
And also, the Startup Grind Jacksonville chatbot is in development, and it will be live very soon.
So if you want to learn more how to stay connected, make sure you stay connected with myself, Teresa Gamble, or Ashmar Gary. Thank you so much, and we send you peace, love, and hope from the Jacksonville chapter. Thank you for joining, and have an awesome day. Peace.